Welcome to Name 3 Songs. I'm Sarah Fagan.
And I'm Jenna Million, and this is a podcast where we take the piss and debunk music fan stereotypes. Because let's be honest, fangirls knew about that band way before you did.
And this is Music Meltdown, where we talk about our personal stories as fangirls and some hot takes on hot topics. So today we thought that it'd be a good idea to let you guys get to know us better by dissecting our music genre intake.
Our music tastes, what genres we're into right now, what genres we're into over time, some of our top artists, some of our top songs. And we're going to do this with this platform called Obscurifymusic.com. So if you've ever looked at your Spotify year-end Wrapped, this is basically that. And you can check it out at any time. So we're going to show you ours, and you can see what we listen to and some maybe embarrassing new guilty pleasures. Or not guilty pleasures. If you're just into music, it doesn't have to be guilty.
I am
love
not
what you
guilty about any music that I consume. I tweet about it loud and proud.
I know Sarah has some interesting new fan favorites, so this will be interesting to dive into.
And if you guys decide to watch along on YouTube, we're going to be pulling up the Obscurify, screen share, all that fun stuff. So if you are a more visual person, you can go search Name 3 Songs on YouTube and just watch along there instead of listening.
All right, here's my Obscurify. Welcome to Obscurify. I logged in with my Spotify, so we're going to take a look at my top genres to start with. At number 1, we have modern rock. And at number 2, we have modern alternative rock.
Wait, so
what's the difference?
The thing that interests me about Obscurify, because I looked at it a couple weeks ago and you had first mentioned it, and I like that as you get farther down the list, which Jenna will go through more in depth, it goes from just an umbrella term a la modern rock to something like neon emo or neon pop punk, something ridiculous like that I never heard of. And I just think it's really crazy how there's so many music genres. Because as somebody who's always been confused about music genres, this is just making my brain hurt even more.
Sarah, boy, do I have a fun tool for you. But we'll get there in a minute. Okay, so I'm going to read my top genres. Number 1, modern rock. Number 2, modern alternative rock. Number 3, pop, because I love some good pop music. Number 4, I'm very proud to say, is English indie rock. I wear that with a badge of honor.
Is it landfill indie though?
Number 5, what? Oh, landfill indie is a new term to me.
I wonder if Obscurify knows about it.
Yeah, so these are all pulled from Spotify tags. So every song on Spotify is tagged. That's how it gets its data. Number 5, indie-tronica. Number 6, indie pop. Number 7, rock. Number 8, dance pop. Number 9, post-teen pop, which apparently is a different thing than pop and dance pop. And number 10, we have Australian indie, which of course, if you know me, which if you're listening, maybe you don't, but I love my British rock and my Australian rock. I feel like this is maybe a good segue to tell you about this other website called everynoise.com. This is every noise as tagged by Spotify, every genre ever. And you can see as I'm scrolling how extensive it is. It maps it on a scatter plot. Really, there's not a lot of difference between pop and post-teen pop. It's just a certain tag. So One Direction is on here. I think, Halsey, Dua Lipa's on here somewhere. Harry Styles and Zayn are on here.
I like that Zac Efron is on here. There's lots of Disney
there's
Channel
a lot
stars.
Of Selena Gomez. Yeah, the Disney is all on here.
We'll have a screen grab on the blog for the show notes for people who aren't watching on YouTube, just so you can see what this looks like, and obviously links too. But I just think it's interesting because it's stuff that I would think that I would have listened to when I was a teen. The Glee cast is on here. And so it's just interesting that it would be called post-teen pop, but I guess maybe it's just people who are teenage adjacent, because none of these people,
I guess.
I don't know.
Getting back to Obscurify, let's keep going. My obscurity rating is 87%, more obscure than 900,000 users on Obscurify. So you can see where this is really tiny, but like my all-time is 87 and my recent is 97%. So that's pretty cool. Clearly, I know weird music.
This is just like one of those things that I feel like the girl version of the Name 3 Songs man would use to like make her friends feel stupid for what music they listen to. Like this just feels like, well, according to Obscurify, I listen to 97% obscure music. What about you? Like that, I just I don't know. I just feel like somebody who bullied me on MySpace would use this against me.
You could use this as a rebuttal for all the 3-song men out there.
I love this.
Okay, so this is my current top artist, which is kind of interesting. So number 1, we have
my
Donna
man's
Missile
on here.
because okay, Sarah's definitely skewed my results because of doing research for our podcast. So yeah, Louis Tomlinson and Machine Gun Kelly are both on my current top artists thanks to Sarah. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of Charli XCX's How I'm Feeling Now album, especially at the gym. This band Honey Whip is so good. They're from LA. They have like 4 songs, and one of my LA friends posted about them and I'm obsessed. Phoenix kind of dove into like a TBT recently. There's Shaky Graves is an Austin artist I recently found. We have
I just love that my 2 favorite men in the whole world, Louis Tomlinson and Machine Gun Kelly, are your 9th and 10th most listened to artists right now.
Okay, my current songs, 1990 Nowhere, as an amazing band that everyone needs to listen to. And they only have 2 songs right now, and both of them are my current top listens, which is so true. And then these 5 songs are all Honey Whip, which is funny. Clearly I listen to a lot of stuff on repeat. Oh, we have Machine Gun Kelly's My Ex's Best Friend. That one slaps. Let's do my artist of all time. Oh, okay. So one of my friends is Lost Boy Crow, and I love his music clearly because he's my number 1 artist of all time.
I didn't know you were so into Don Broco.
Okay, I have a story about this, which is really embarrassing. So, I didn't start using Spotify until the very end of 2018. So in 2019, I had a very intense Don Broco phase. Never listened to them before, but listened to their like most recent album on repeat for literally months. And that's why they're on here. And that's also why Bring Me the Horizon is on here, because never listened to them before, but then I listened to their most recent album on repeat at the same time as Don Broco because I was going through an emo phase for like half of 2019. So I also listened to that song Come Out to LA on repeat for like a super long time because I wanted to move to LA. And yeah. I love Don Broco. I think it was one of my it was like one of my top songs. Well, we can check out my top songs in a second. I'll just list off the other artists for those of you listening. So number 2, I have D-Mob Happy, which is a British rock band from Brighton, and I freaking love them. I got to see them like 2 or 3 times in America last year. I love them so much. Sam Fender, it's funny that he's on my top because I pretty much just listened to like Hypersonic Missiles on repeat for a very long time last year. Also, I like, he's the type of person who like, I would not just sit down and listen to his record, but because I've seen him live, I'm like, I really like how he sounds live. And then I'll go listen to his songs. And he came to South by, and that's why he's on my top. Charli XCX, as we mentioned, Mallrat, one of my favorite Australian artists who's like, she makes pop music. I love her. We have Killaney, who I also listened to on repeat last year for a long time, for the very first time. And then we have Lainey. I really don't know why they're up there, to be honest. I don't think I listened to Lainey that much. I probably can't even name any of their songs except that one album, Malibu.
Really good breakup song about Dua Lipa, but I don't remember what it's called.
They have a whole album about Dua Lipa, Sarah.
Wow, that's probably why I should write an album about Dua Lipa.
Yeah, exactly. Did she break your heart also?
No, I just love her.
And I was like, would Lainey be as famous as they are now if Paul Jackson Klein didn't have his heart broken by Dua Lipa? I don't
really know. I have no real opinions of them except for that one song that I really liked that I don't know the name of.
So then we have 1975, definitely one of my tops. Mabel, who's also a British pop artist. And then Anderson .Paak rounding out our top 12. And then we have my top songs of all time. Yep, Hypersonic Missiles, number 2, Come Out to LA. There it is. All right, everyone, here's the skeletons in my closet.
I love that.
Embarrassing. Okay, number 3, Gwenda. This is a Spanish artist that I'm obsessed with. He's like a rapper and like does indie and like also trap, and he's beautiful.
I just feel like once people hear my list of music, they're gonna literally have no idea how we're friends, because I think mine's gonna be really embarrassing.
All of this is like my binge worthy like stuff. Like this is like, I would not even consider this like accurate like a depiction of what I normally listen to. We do have White Reaper on here, so I'm proud of that. But we have 3 Little Mallrat songs, and we also have 3 reggaeton songs, because I went through a really big reggaeton phase last year also.
I love this.
And then we have
Larkins,
so which we have Larkins, which is a little baby British band that also came to South by. I freaking
love that song. It sounds like it should be played in like all of the like between scenes bits on Made in Chelsea. I honestly think it probably has 100%. Been. I think it has been. But like
I think it, yeah. I think they've gotten some TV time with that. Okay, I just looked at more of my all-time songs. We have Lizzo. We have, I'm surprised I didn't have any Lost Boy Crow songs in the top.
That's really interesting. I always find that interesting with like the Unwrapped, where it's like this is your most played song, but this is your most listened to artist, and like they don't overlap, and I don't really get how that happens. But I guess it's just like how many times you listen to one song compared to how many times you listen to a whole album.
Here's some more of my all-time top artists. Rosalia, Catfish and the Bottomin, Lizzo, apparently, Blossoms, Kevin Crowder, I really like this year, Spacey Jane from Australia, Dua Lipa, Blindavon, Tame Impala, Sundara Karma, BTS. I guess those are more like my recent listens. This Is Me. We have Harry Styles on here at number 40.
And so what are the other things that what is the other information that Obscurify gives you?
They break down your moods, which like to me this stuff doesn't really mean. It's like happiness, danceability, energy, and acousticness. I think these are like general rankings for songs, and because I've seen this on other websites, and DJs use this to like pick out songs for sets basically.
Okay.
That's how I've seen it used in the past, or like remixes, like if you want like the same level of like danceability or like energy for remixing. I could be making this up. I'm not a DJ.
Mean, it sounds really believable. I bought it.
I've seen this in the context of that. And then, so I don't pay much attention to that part. And then below that, it gives you recommendations, and you can create a playlist from that, which is pretty cool. But I noticed like a lot of these recommendations are artists I've actually already listened to or I know of, because it will say like, oh, you listened to Lainey's Malibu album. Why don't you listen to Bad, Bad, Bad? And I'm like, I already know this exists. I don't need this as a recommendation. But
so it's kind of like recommendations for dummies.
Yeah. Like if you don't know how to use Spotify.
I think the site's really cool just because it's fun every once in a while to like look at your like music leanings, I guess is the best way to put it. Because I feel like I so often will go a whole month where I'll just listen to the same album on repeat, and every now and again I'll like put something on shuffle. So it's kind of fun to like go back and visit and see like what you've been listening to. Did anything on here really surprise you?
Well, I already knew about like a lot of these artists were my top artists from 2019. So I kind of already knew. I noticed like it's super sensitive to what you're listening to recently. So like the top genres will change. Like if you check this next week, it will change. If you check it in a month, depending on, what you're listening to. So like Indie-tronica, I think I've been listening to a lot of like Tame Impala and Phoenix recently. So that one probably like bumped up because that didn't used to be as up there. But for the most part, these were the same genres I had last time I checked. Sarah, why don't we toss it over to you?
Drum roll, please. We are now on my Obscurify, and I am nervous because I have been listening to some trash bucket music lately, but none of that I am not proud of because I love what I listen to. So let's do this. Okay. So top genres, which completely makes sense along with
Our top
Jenna's.
3 are the same.
Yeah, is modern rock, modern alternative rock, and then pop, which like these are all just umbrella terms. So I get it. And then it goes from pop to rock to pop punk to post-teen pop to English indie rock to emo to dance pop to neon pop punk. And if anybody knows me, I have never been read so hard in my life. Because I think
ours are very similar.
Yeah.
They're
I just
very
like
us.
So also the post-teen pop, I have been completely skewing my listens because I have made a summer family pool playlist of music that like my dad can also sing along to. So we've been listening to a lot of early aughts like boy band and girl group music. So like we've been jamming to Bewitched. So
Yeah, but you also listen to Louis Tomlinson on the daily.
I do listen to Louis Tomlinson on the daily. So my obscurity rating of music that I listen to compared to the like 900,000 US users of Obscurify is I'm in the 90%. So I'm more obscure than 90% of users. But my current is 58%. So it's because I've been listening to pop music so much lately. But honestly, like MySpace girl, bully me all you want.
My current is 97%,
Oh my
so
god.
I'm cooler than you.
Okay, so I was right.
Oh my gosh, One Direction is on your top artists.
Of course they are. So my current top artist is Girls, which are my favorite band in the whole world at the moment. Well, actually for the past 2 years. So that's super on brand. And then the second is One Direction, which also makes a lot of sense. Through TikTok, I have found like the definitive order to listen to One Direction songs in playlist, and that has been something I've been doing a lot. And then obviously my third
Wow.
is Dua Lipa because her new record is thebomb.com. I can't believe I just said that. But I have this problem where like when I really like a new album, I just listen to it on repeat forever. Sometimes that can literally be 3 whole months, which I think is what happened with Dua. I think Dua was like 2 months of only listening to her new album. And then the fourth one is Harry Styles. And then after that, everything is very skewed based off of what we listen to as a family.
Emo.
So then it's Kesha, who is my dad's favorite singer. And then Steve Miller Band, who is my dad's
Wait, Sarah,
favorite.
do you
What?
Sarah, do you not listen to Kesha?
I mean, I love Kesha. We listen to Kesha as a family.
I love Kesha.
When
this
I was
is so funny but like mine, like my Obscurify would look like this if I had been using Spotify earlier, because like I was
this
a
is
huge
my
One Direction fan
current. This is what's happening right now, Jenna.
Oh.
We're not even at all time yet. This is like what I've been listening to because I am in quarantine with my family.
Oh my gosh.
But
You've been
speaking of
listening to the
Kesha,
Somerset?
when I was like 18, I wanted to be Kesha. I took the most ridiculous photo of myself wearing like shiny gold leggings and like this weird like rocker tank top, and like my hair was crazy and I put like feathers in it, and I just like I did Kesha cosplay for a Flickr photo. So yeah.
I mean, I was Kesha for Halloween one year, so I'm right there with you.
Know why the Somerset is on here, because there is only one of their songs on this playlist that Becky, my sister, and I have been listening to, so that's kind of weird. So my recent music is mostly music I really, really love, and then music I really loved when I was a teen because I am stuck in quarantine. So I'm not going to embarrass myself. I'm just kidding. I really don't care. So yeah, my top 10 most current listen to artists are Girls, One Direction, Dua Lipa, Harry Styles, then Kesha, Steve Miller Band, The Somerset, The Starting Line, Relient K, which like I feel like every emo kid has a memory of like where they were when they found out that Relient K was a Christian rock band. And I was in the kitchen of my house, and my grandma was like, "Oh, you're finally listening to some wholesome music without cursing." And I was like, "What is she talking about?" She was like, "Oh, like my friend's Christian son goes to see them in concert all the time with Switchfoot." And I was like, "Oh." So that was weird for
That's
little
really
old
funny.
Jewish me. But, you know, yeah, so and then my top 10, and then my 10th is All American Rejects. So that's most recent. And then my most recent listened to song, like current top, is mostly Sea Girls. Transplant, which is the first song on their first ever full-length album, is up there. And then Abigail Barlow, Heartbreak Hotel from TikTok is my third most listened to song lately. It's mostly because my sister is obsessed with it. And I'm the only person that pays for Spotify in this house. And yeah,
Oh
Olivia
gosh.
O'Brien, there's 1985 by Bowling for Soup. Oh my god, Stacey Orico. this is
1985.
This is really funny. Yeah, so
Yeah, it is.
this is hilarious.
Let's see your all-time.
I love this website. So let's look at my all-time. I'm gonna tell you that the main is,
We're being
I already knew that.
exposed.
So this
We're
one.
so exposed.
So this one really confuses me, and it confused me last year. But I think that I was listening to true crime podcasts so much in 2019 that the fact that I listened to the Maine's like most recent album twice made them my most listened to artist of 2019, and now it has ruined my Spotify rankings forever somehow. Because I don't really remember listening to that record that much, but I also like didn't have a job, so maybe I was listening to it more. But my number one all-time top artist is the Early November, which makes so much sense because they've been my number one all-time favorite artist since the age of 13. So it's like if I'm feeling emo.
How long have you had Spotify?
I think I've had Spotify since at least 2015. I don't even remember when Spotify first started. I've had it for a while.
A long time ago. I don't know.
Because I know I had it during undergrad. So like 2012, 2013, around that time. I'm not really sure. But yeah, so the Early November are always my go-to when I'm sad because they just like let me be in my feelings. The Main is the only thing on here that's offending me, not because I don't like them, just because of personal beef. Personal beef with my own emotions of being a small child on MySpace. My third is Halsey, which also I think makes a lot of sense. I go through very big Halsey spells, which I think is warranted because she's really, really talented. And then One Direction, 5 Seconds of Summer, which in a couple episodes you will understand why that's so amusing that they're my 5th most played artist. Yeah, on this coming Sunday episode, I kind of go in on Ashton Irwin. So now you know I wasn't lying that I do love that band and hate the members.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So at least I'm not a liar. Yeah, and then we have the 1975 and then Sam Fender, which I'm honestly shocked that Sam Fender is not higher, but I guess because of how long I've had Spotify, that does make sense. And
also,
then,
side note, the only reason I ever listened to Sam Fender is because of Sarah.
I'm a Sam Fender connoisseur. Yeah. Except not really. My best friend works with him. So I was force feeding Sam Fender to myself so that I liked him so I could not be just that weirdo at a show cheering on a sound tech. But then I fell in love with Sam Fender and it's ruined my whole life because his music's so good.
Which is then why I was sent to see Sam Fender at South by, and then I was like, okay, I can get behind his songs in a live setting.
Yeah, I was like, Jenna, go see this handsome man perform. You can go see my friend Matt, who you'll love, and maybe you'll love Sam, but he's handsome, so it's worth it, which is really bad. But I think at that time he like didn't have that many songs out, so I think sending somebody to see someone because they're handsome when they only have 5 songs is an acceptable reason to send someone to see them in concert. So yeah, so this is my all-time is interesting because, as I've said, I've had Spotify for a while. So it's impressive that artists that I've only listened to recent, like over the past like 2 or 3 years are on here. Because then after Sam Fender, it's Girls, and then Harry Styles, and then Boston Manor, who I freaking love Boston Manor. Like I'm a true old school pop punk person, meaning that I listen to more of like Fall Out Boy, that sort of stuff, and then the Early November, the Starting Line, and then the like more poppy pop punk stuff, so like All Time Low and that sort of thing. So Boston Manor, when they showed up and they were playing stuff reminiscent of like the heavier stuff I liked when I got into like the Warped Tour bubble, really excited me, and every single record has been good. So I just like, this is just me talking about how much I love Boston Manor now, but they're a freaking good band and they're really nice people. And they just like grow musically. Like you can listen to their records and you can tell that they've listened back to what they've done and been like, how can we make this better? How can we improve on this? And I really respect that, especially in pop punk, when I feel like there are bands that just don't change because they're like, okay, we've got the algorithm correct. We're going to keep cranking out this nonsense.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's really cool. And then Dua Lipa is on here, and Little Mix, which I freaking love. Little Mix.
That's funny.
I love
that's
them.
Cute.
But I want to go back to songs for a second, see how, there we go, Louis Tomlinson, number 1.
Hypersonic Missiles, number 2.
This is also
Hypersonic
really
missiles.
This is crazy to me, but then also this makes sense.
Watermelon Sugar,
with the Maine,
number 5.
Of why the Maine is so high up on my list of music.
You have a lot of Harry on here.
I know, like this is just really interesting. But
Miles Away. Wow, Sarah, were you like a little emo in America?
In England? Love Miles Away. Okay, so for those of you not watching on YouTube, I'm just gonna break this down for you. So I would die for Louis Tomlinson. Like I would do anything for this man. Miss You is the best song to ever exist, which just shows you how kind of trash my music taste is, just because it's a pop punk anthem that should have come out in the year 2008. So that's my number 1 most listened to song. And then my second is Hypersonic Missiles by Sam Fender. Third is Miles Away by the Maine, which makes sense because American Candy is a freaking good record. Like I love that record. And then my fourth is a song called Killing Time from American Psycho the Musical. So sung by the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith. So,
oh my gosh.
So I
have number 5,
very broad taste in music. I love like the movie American Psycho, and I love when they turn weird 80s movies into weirder musicals. There was a 2-year period of my life where my whole entire personality revolved around the fact that American Psycho was made into a musical. It's not something I'm not proud of, but I will admit it to our lovely listeners. I have a playlist on my Spotify so that I could find this soundtrack easier, because I always had trouble finding it, and I freaking love this song. I don't know why.
Oh my god!
But it's so good. The guy, I can't remember who wrote the soundtrack for American Psycho, but I think he's done like a couple other musicals that I really liked, and it's just like, it's good. It literally could be like a pop punk song. Like it's just good. I love it. I'm not embarrassed. But yeah, so then the rest of my all time, and this just proves my point of how I listen to records on repeat. I was so depressed for like 5 months that all I did was listen to Sam Fender's debut full-length album. So even though I've had Spotify for 5 whole years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 12 of my top 12 all-time listened to songs are from Sam Fender's full-length album. Rounded out with Watermelon.
We also have 3 Harry Styles
Kiwi
songs.
And Carolina, which are Harry Styles' best songs, maybe? I don't know.
Do the See More. I want to see more.
Jenna's intrigued. More American Psycho.
More. Oh. Oh, Halsey, hello.
So then we have Boston Manor. Then we have more Sam Fender, some Liz Capaldi. We have some more American Psycho. We have Am I Pretty by The Main. We have Narrow Mouth by The Early November, which is, I love that song. Then we have Gasoline by Halsey, which is my favorite Halsey song. So those of you who love Halsey know that I'm an OG because Gasoline's my favorite Halsey song. Oh, and then this gets better. For some reason, Drag Me Down is my number One Direction song. I don't really know how I feel about that. But then, in true Sarah Fade fashion, the next song after that is Three Small Words from the Josie and the Pussycat soundtrack, which is the best album to ever exist.
This is so funny.
I'm just saying that we're at some point going to do a Music Meltdown episode about my love for Josie and the Pussycats and why it's the most important film in pop culture history that have to do with the music industry. But everyone needs to watch that movie and just tell me all about your feelings about it because I have so many. Wow, this is so embarrassing.
Wait, scroll down.
There's more American Psycho, more The Early November, more Louis Tomlinson, more Halsey. What even is, The Pale White? Nothing But Thieves. Jump 5. I am
nothing. Oh, Lydia, hello.
If not eclectic.
Jump 5. Wow. Truly, you have two moods. It's emo and pop.
I'm just like, this is just very
I love this.
Also, just like, it describes my personality so well.
I'm surprised Machine Gun Kelly has not been on here yet. Like, that's a testament to how much you listen to these other artists.
I know, because the past, like,
in my mind, you've
days,
just been listening to Machine Gun Kelly on repeat for a week.
Yeah, like, I don't understand. I guess it just hasn't been enough. I haven't had enough time with
I have him in my top, but not you.
I told you I've been listening to the Seagirl record almost constantly, and so, but the thing that I just find really funny about this that I just need to acknowledge is Summer Song by Jump 5 is like this song that like describes like the perfect teen summer a la like an early aughts like teen movie, and my dream in life when I was like a kid listening to this Jump 5 song was that I could live this song. And so like the first like 3 years I had Spotify when I was like in my early 20s and like depressed in London, I would listen to this song and be like, one day I'll drive in a convertible with a cute boy. I just think it's so funny.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
my gosh. You're having a meltdown.
This is the funniest.
This is why this is a music meltdown.
This is the funniest thing that's ever happened. I just think that it's hilarious that my happiness number.
Oh, mine looks different.
I know. I was really interested in that. But yeah, and then these recommendations are not even, here they are. So I think that they're listening because they're like, here, listen to more of the American Psycho soundtrack. So
listen to Can't Stop, I Won't Stop. Can't Stop, Won't Stop.
I can't. This is just, yeah, I feel like this algorithm needs to get
a little bit better. Have you listened
to
Tom Grennan?
I like Tom Grennan. I photographed him once. But yeah, so because of my love of musical theater, Obscurify likes to suggest that I listen to more musical theater music, and a lot of music that I'm clearly already listening to. So I feel like if the person who created Obscurify somehow is listening to this podcast, fix this. Just like, I don't know. I feel like the algorithm could be a little bit better because I feel like
it could definitely be better.
I feel like Spotify I've always been really impressed with when Spotify gives me stuff, especially like my release radar is really good, but also the Discover Weekly has been always like 70% like on track, which has always impressed me. Hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown of our music and feel like you know us a bit better, because that's the whole point. We want you guys to feel like you're our friends.
If you have any thoughts about our music taste, if you like these bands also, or if you have some recommendations you think we should check out, you can tweet us at Jenna_Million and at Sarah_Fagan, and that is FEIGIN. not Feign, as it is saved in my phone for the past 3 years of our friendship. If you need help spelling our names, look in the description.
Also, though, when I first started talking to Jenna on the internet, I thought her last name wasn't real. So
many people think my last name is not real. One of my friends was like guest listing me for a show, and he was like, "What's the name on your ID?" And I was like, "Jenna Million." And he was like, "No way." He's like, "That's not a stage name." And I was like, "Why would I have a stage name?"
Well, I think that my problem
Besides, if I had a stage name, it would be Mercedes Million. I would be Mercedes Million. Is my stage name.
I think that my problem is just that
my current name?
I'm so used to MySpace names. So I was like, this has to be some like weird just username that she used. And then I realized
like Charlie XCX.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, she's like 5 years younger than me. So she probably doesn't have a MySpace name.
Oh, I'm not 5 years younger than you. How old are you?
I'm 28.
I'm about to turn 25. Okay, Sarah.
I can't do math, Jenna. You know this.
That's only 3.
I hope you guys enjoyed our breakdown of what we've been listening to on Spotify recently and for our whole lives. I think that you guys will definitely love the next episode that's coming out, which is the part 2 of the fangirl stigma discussion. And I just really want you guys to come listen because you now are aware that I listen to 5 Seconds of Summer all the time, and I bully Ashton Irwin for about 40 minutes in this coming Sunday's episode, and I just think that it'll be a really interesting juxtaposition and just proof that you can all grow and hate people and still like what they create. Thanks for joining us on Name 3 Songs. Until next time, never let anyone make you feel bad about your favorite band.
And you're never too cool to listen to Harry Styles.
Don't forget to subscribe to be notified when each episode comes out, and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps.
And if you want to find out more about any of the sources we referenced today in this episode, you can visit name3songs.com.